The Reliant Rebel was the brainchild of Reliant Managing Director Ray Wiggin. He believed that people in the future would be less likely to drive three-wheeled vehicles, such as the Regal, so Reliant engineers, after working on the development of the four-wheeled Sabra Carmel with Autocars of Israel, decided to modify the then-current Regal 325 to create a four-wheeler. They built a rolling chassis using many parts from other countries, with a conventional front engine, steering and suspension. But they felt that Reliant's 600cc engine just wouldn't be powerful enough, so the engineers skimmed the cylinder head and fitted larger valves, giving the 28 horsepower engine better torque to cope with the extra 100 to 150 kilograms of extra weight. The shape was contracted out to oval design. The goal was for it to look completely different from the Regal, but should save production costs by retaining some of its parts, such as its doors and windscreen. The resulting car was roughly the same, being just 3 inches longer, but with a wheelbase 13 inches longer than the three-wheel Regal. The Rebel made its public debut at the Earls Court Motor Show in 1964. The show cars were pre-production models, built in Turkey and driven to Earls Court overnight to properly test their durability. It was launched initially as a saloon that looks a bit like a hatchback to modern eyes, and with only one trim level. The original run was limited to just 100 cars. These vehicles are mostly seen as pre-production, as they were built for dealer demonstrations, and the specification changed between each vehicle as the factory tested different fabrics and materials for the interior. Only 6 months after the initial launch, Reliant relaunched the Rebel as the Rebel Deluxe, but it became known as the Rebel 600. The car received a new dashboard design with different instruments, more comfortable seats and updated leaf springs for a softer ride. The top half of the grille was deleted completely and filled in smooth. Orange front indicators replaced the original clear units and a unique steering wheel was added. After the introduction of the 70 mph speed limit on British motorways in 1965, the new speed limit was seen as a bit of a target. Any vehicle with a top speed lower than 70 mph was seen to be slow. With this, Reliant increased the engine size to 700cc and 31 horsepower. The new engine was introduced in 1967 for the Regal and Rebel 700. The car also got a full chassis redesign using stronger steel and construction and negative earth electrics. The estate version was also launched at the Earls Court Motor Show. It used longer rear windows and a large side-hinged rear door. Combined with a new fold-flat rear seat, this made the Rebel Estate incredibly practical, and within 2 years it was the best-selling model. During the Rebel's production run, Reliant experimented with a sports version to complement the Scimitar GT and forthcoming Scimitar GTE. Whereas the existing Rebel used a 25 to 35 horsepower engine, the Rebel 1600 GT prototype will be fitted with Ford's 1.6 litre 80 horsepower cross-flow engine from the Cortina 1600E. Reliant had a relationship with Ford using their engines in Reliant sports cars, with Reliant building Ford's fiberglass truck cabs in return. The Rebel 1600 GT was a working road legal prototype, and had it been given the go-ahead, it would have been launched in 1968. It never made it to production, as Reliant management found out that the Rebel 1600 GT could outperform the bigger Scimitar models. With Reliant doing good business selling light trucks, such as the TW9 to local municipalities, in 1971 a Rebel van was launched after many customer inquiries. It was basically the estate version without windows, but it could still be ordered with rear seats. There were tax advantages to purchasing a van versus a car in the UK at this time, and Reliant were happy to sell you a rear window self-install kit along with your new Rebel van, allowing you or your Reliant dealer to turn your van into an estate car. Not many Rebel 700 vans were produced, as the 750 model was already in development and would be introduced at the end of 1972. It gained the 35 horsepower 750cc engine that was destined for the Robin a year later. Up until now, the Rebel's 4-speed gearbox only had synchromesh on 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The new car would add it to first gear as well. It would also receive a new radiator and rear lights. The new engine gave the car a top speed of 80 miles an hour, along with a fuel-busting 65 miles per gallon. This proved to be the most popular Rebel, as Reliant gave it a big marketing push in magazines and newspapers, including full-page colour ads. And with the success of the Robin, this was the first time many customers were discovering the Rebel. The interior also had a large change, with larger, more comfortable front seats and a soft touch dashboard. All interiors now use black vinyl seats and carpets. There was an opportunity to replace the Royal Mail's line of Morris vans, and 10 of them were trialled. In early 1974, with the new Reliant Robin proving to be so popular, production on all other models including the Rebel, Bondbug and TW9 ended so the Robin models could be made, with the Rebel to be replaced in 1975 by the Reliant Kitten. But the car went out with a fanfare, with the newer 850cc engine fitted just before production ended. 2,600 saloon, estate and van Rebels were produced. Most were sold in the UK, but some were sold abroad, for example in places such as the Caribbean islands. A big thank you to all my patrons for supporting me. To get early advert-free access to new videos or to appear in the credits, please consider supporting me using the Patreon link below from just $1 or 80p a month, and hit that subscribe button to get notified of new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.